When was the last time you were brutally honest with yourself? Not the sanitized version you show the world, but the raw, unfiltered you. And if I were to add that, what if everything you hate about yourself is exactly what you need? The jealousy you're ashamed of, the anger you suppress, the fears you hide. In 1913, a successful psychiatrist began experiencing terrifying visions and thoughts that made him question his sanity. Instead of running from them, he chose to explore them. He discovered that deep within our mind lies a hidden force, a dark twin that knows your deepest secrets, fears, and desires. He called it the shadow. According to him, this shadow not only haunts you, but also holds the key to your life's purpose. Chapter 1. What is the shadow? You're lying to yourself right now. We all are. That perfect image you try to maintain, the one where you're always kind, never jealous, totally in control, it's all a mask. Carl Jung opined that ripping off that mask might be the most important thing you'll ever do. Most of us walk around pretending we're nicer, kinder, more put together than we really are. We smile when we're angry. We act cool when we're burning with envy. We hide our wild ideas and raw emotions because they don't fit society's script. But suppressing these parts comes at a huge cost. Your shadow isn't just your darkness. It's your goldmine. Those negative traits you're running from are usually your greatest untapped powers. Your anger could fuel your drive for justice. Your selfish ambitions might lead to breakthroughs that help thousands. Jung saw this pattern over and over in his practice. The perfect mother who exploded at her kids was suppressing her need for freedom. The ruthless businessman who despised weakness was running from his own vulnerability. Their shadows weren't their enemies. They were screaming for attention. Unfortunately, most of us won't listen, and that's when things get messy. Ignore your shadow, and it starts running the show from behind the scenes. Those relationships you sabotage, those opportunities you mysteriously blow, those same mistakes you keep making, that's your shadow pulling the strings. The first step to finding your purpose isn't setting goals or following your bliss. It's facing what you've been avoiding all along. So when did this split happen? At what point did we start building this mask? Let's uncover how your shadow was born and why it holds the key to everything you're meant to become. Chapter 2. The birth of your shadow. Remember the first time someone told you good kids don't get angry? When they laughed at your dreams, said boys don't cry or girls should be nice? That's the moment your shadow emerged. We start life whole, raw, real, complete. Watch any toddler laugh when happy, scream when mad, dance with pure joy. No filters, no shame. Their emotions flow naturally, untamed by social rules or expectations. Life teaches harsh lessons about acceptance. Gradually, society molds us into acceptable versions of ourselves. The kindergarten teacher scolds your wild imagination. Friends mock your passionate interests. Family members shame your emotional outbursts. One piece at a time, you learn which parts of yourself draw praise versus punishment. Jung noticed this pattern repeated across every culture and class, from strict religious households to progressive communities. Children receive constant messages about which aspects of themselves deserve acceptance. Parents, teachers, media, they create an unspoken rulebook of human behavior. Young minds learn quickly. Rejection means danger. Social exclusion triggers the same brain regions as physical pain. Children adapt by creating a proper persona, burying unacceptable traits deep in their psyche. Survival trumps authenticity. This psychological split carries hidden consequences. Rejected parts don't simply vanish, they grow more powerful in the shadows. The creative spark you extinguished still burns underground. The wild child you caged plots escape. The emotional truth you denied shapes your choices from below. Your shadow forms from these exiled parts of yourself. Like a photo negative, it collects everything your conscious mind rejects. Anger, fear, desire, power, weakness, shame. These traits don't lose their energy. They redirect it. The good girl, who never expresses anger, faces mysterious headaches and anxiety. The tough guy, who never shows vulnerability, sabotages close relationships. The practical person, who abandoned creativity, feels inexplicably empty. This inner split between acceptable and unacceptable creates a war within, one your shadow usually wins. Next, we'll explore exactly how these hidden forces seize control of your life, often without you realizing it. Chapter 3. How your shadow controls you. You nail the interview prep. You know every answer. Your resume shines. Then you walk in and freeze, words stumbling, confidence crumbling. Later you wonder, what happened in there? That relationship heading toward commitment? Suddenly you find petty reasons to start fights. That promotion within reach? You show up late to the final presentation. Your shadow orchestrates these moments while your conscious mind scrambles for excuses. Someone's success fills you with instant rage, a stranger's confidence makes your skin crawl, a friend's happiness triggers unexplained irritation. Your shadow speaks loudest through these gut-level responses. Jung discovered that our strongest reactions point directly to our deepest denials. The person ranting about others' greed, often wrestling with secret materialism. Someone disgusted by public emotion, usually starving for connection themselves. The shadow thrives on projection. Each harsh judgment we cast outward shields us from seeing the same traits within. The more violently we reject something in others, the more likely it lives in us, unacknowledged. Pushing down these aspects only magnifies their power. Suppressed parts store energy like a spring under pressure. They'll emerge either through conscious choice or unconscious eruption, usually at the worst possible moments. Watch for the patterns: procrastinating before big opportunities, starting fights during happy moments, sabotaging progress right before reaching goals. The shadow particularly loves striking when success feels close. The most revealing is the timing. Your shadow disrupts precisely when you're about to break through, achieve something meaningful, or connect deeply with others. Like a misguided protector, it derails moments of potential change. Jung realized these disruptions serve a purpose. Sometimes the shadow saves us from paths that betray our authentic selves. That dream job you mysteriously sabotaged, maybe it threatened your creative freedom. That relationship you ruined, perhaps it demanded false compromise. These shadow forces leave clear tracks once you learn to spot them. Chapter 4. Signs your shadow is running your life. Morning meeting, coffee in hand. Someone makes a harmless joke about your project. Suddenly you snap, words flying out before you can stop them. The room goes silent. Where did that come from? You're not alone. When the shadow takes control, it leaves specific clues. That explosive reaction to minor criticism? Those mysterious mood swings? The constant feeling something's off but you can't name it? Your shadow's fingerprints are everywhere. The warning signs hide in plain sight. Social situations become minefields. Small talk feels fake. You catch yourself wearing different masks. The perfect employee, the good friend, the caring partner. Each role exhausts you more than the last. Sleep becomes restless. Dreams turn vivid, filled with characters doing things you'd never do. Anxiety creeps in without reason. You feel watched, judged, exposed, even when alone. Relationships follow strange patterns. The same conflicts keep emerging. Different people trigger identical reactions. You promise yourself, never again, then find yourself repeating old mistakes. Your body speaks what your mind won't. Physical symptoms appear randomly. Headaches, stomach issues, unexplained fatigue. Doctors find nothing wrong. These aren't just health problems. They're messages from your shadow, speaking through your body when your mind won't listen. Work becomes a battlefield. Projects stall for no reason. Simple tasks feel impossible. Success stays just out of reach, no matter how hard you push. Your shadow sabotages progress, protecting you from change it deems threatening. Other people start feeling like mirrors, reflecting parts of yourself you'd rather not see. Their flaws irritate you beyond reason. Their successes fill you with unexplained dread. Their happiness makes you question your own life choices. Recognition brings liberation. Noticing these patterns is the first step toward freedom. Each shadow sign points toward buried treasure, parts of yourself waiting to be reclaimed. Recognizing your shadow's influence changes everything. Now let's explore the practical steps of shadow work, the journey back to wholeness that reveals your true purpose. Chapter 5. Shadow Work, the Path to Purpose. A therapist walks into Jung's office. Successful practice, perfect family, model citizen. Everyone admires her composure. Only at night, violent dreams shake her awake. Her shadow demands attention. Shadow work isn't therapy. It's not meditation. It's not reading self-help books. It's facing what you've spent your whole life running from. The rage behind your smile, the grief beneath your strength, the wild spirit under your control. The journey begins with radical honesty. Start with your judgments. When someone triggers intense emotions, pause. Ask yourself, what qualities in them push your buttons? What parts of yourself might those represent? Track your patterns. Notice when you self-sabotage. Document your overreactions. Map your relationship conflicts. Each pattern reveals shadow material waiting to be uncovered. Dreams become vital messengers, not the fuzzy morning memories, the ones that jolt you awake at 3 a.m., the ones featuring characters doing things you'd never do. They're your shadow's attempt at communication. Integration demands courage. Jung established that shadow work requires moving toward what scares you. That creative project you keep postponing, the conversation you're avoiding, the change you refuse to make, your shadow lurks in whatever makes you uncomfortable. The process feels counterintuitive. Society teaches us to eliminate negative traits. Shadow work asks us to embrace them instead. Your anger holds passion. Your fear guards wisdom. Your wounds carry medicine. Keep a shadow journal. Write uncensored thoughts. Draw unexplainable images, voice uncomfortable truths. Give your shadow a safe space to emerge. Let it speak without judgment or correction. Purpose emerges through wholeness. The therapist from Jung's office? She discovered her dreams revealed her true calling. Her composed exterior masked a powerful healer who could work with others' darkness. By embracing her shadow, she found her gift. There's more to shadow work than only destroying your dark side. It's about making peace with it. Next, we'll explore how to transform your shadow from enemy to ally. Chapter 6. Integration. Making peace with your dark side. Days after his breakdown, Jung made a life-changing decision. Instead of fighting his dark thoughts, he invited them in. He drew them, wrote about them, gave them space to exist. His greatest psychological breakthroughs emerged from this darkness. Integration means ending the war with yourself. No more pushing down emotions. No more wearing masks. No more pretending you're just your good qualities. Start with small steps. When judgment rises, get curious instead. When shame appears, listen to its message. When anger erupts, explore what it's protecting. Your shadow holds gifts in disguise. The perfectionism driving you crazy? Redirect it fuels excellence. That overwhelming sensitivity? It deepens empathy. The anger you hide? It guards your boundaries. Create rituals of acknowledgement. Set time aside daily to check in with your shadow. Write letters to your rejected parts. Draw your darkness. Dance your rage. Give voice to what's been silenced. As you embrace your shadow, something unexpected happens. Energy once spent fighting yourself becomes available for growth. Creativity flows easier, relationships deepen, purpose emerges naturally. You'll notice subtle changes first, less reactive to triggers, more honest in conversations, increased comfort with imperfection. Your presence becomes more authentic, more magnetic. The goal isn't becoming perfect, it's becoming whole. Integration means accepting all of yourself, light and dark, strong and weak, beautiful and broken. What parts of yourself are ready to be reclaimed? Drop a comment sharing your experience with the shadow. Hit subscribe for weekly insights into psychology, philosophy, and personal growth.